Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. A few weeks ago I bought a 2003 Audi S4 in Nogaro Blue and I love it. I've got no plans to sell that car. I'm just going to keep that one for a very long time. It's got a manual gearbox, all-wheel drive and a 4.2 litre V8 engine. So what more could you want? The video with the S4 did quite well and it got some positive comments and it made me excited about Audis again. So then I was thinking, what else could I buy from the mid-2000s from the Audi lineup that I'd be quite enthusiastic about? And then it hit me. So today we're going to go out and buy an Audi S5 Coupe. I haven't had one of these cars for a while and I'm quite excited to try and get one again. I've set myself a budget of £7,000 and we're going to go and try and find a nice original example. A lot of these cars have been modified. Over the years, a lot of them have fallen into the wrong hands and they've now got straight through exhaust and silly things like that. And that isn't what I'm about. We want a nice original one. So let's fire up Auto Trader and start shopping. Now they started making the A5 in 2008. It's a really good looking coupe actually. It was way ahead of its time and I think it's aged really nicely. Not A5, sorry, we want S5, don't we? We're not messing about here, we want the proper 4.2 V8 version. One thing I'm going to do here is change the engine size because we don't want the later. So the later engines weren't V8s, they were supercharged V6s. We don't want one of those. There's no replacement for displacement, as some people say. So you can pick these up quite cheaply. I mean, my £7,000 budget is quite realistic. So this one's 28 miles away in Crewe. It's a 2010, it's done 69,000 miles and it's £5,500, but it needs a new clutch. Now I know a new clutch on one of these cars is about £1,200. They're quite expensive. I also don't like the wheels on that one. I don't like the fact someone's put an RS5 grille on it. This is what I'm talking about. There are so many modified examples. Good picture there, really selling it to me. Yeah, I just want a nice original example, not one that's been tampered with. So although that one's temptingly cheap, I think we can discount that one. That one looks quite nice. That's a 2009, done 106, and it's for sale for 6,995. Quite a nice classy colour that. It's almost like a Range Rover Giverny green. That's quite nice, apart from, this is just let the side down. That is a 3D reg plate. Crass. Well, I think I'll put that one in the maybe pile because I can't not buy it because of the reg plates. I can change those, that's no problem. That one's 11,495, so it's over budget. That one looks nice, and it's only in Oldham, so it's only 9 miles away. It's a 2010 60 reg. It says super clean example with full service history. It's only done 93,000 miles. Now the good thing with the S5 over the S4, this one doesn't have the same timing chain issues. Now the era of S4 that I bought, I think is the B6. That had an issue with the design of the tensioners. They'd get brittle and just snap, and it's a £3,000 job to correct, or more. Whereas with the later S5, Audi had corrected that issue. So no chain trouble. This one looks nice actually. Now I do like those 5-spoke wheels, or probably 10-spoke wheels actually. That's a good colour, it looks nice and original. No one's blacked out the grille. No one's put any silly add-ons on. I don't like the rear privacy, but I could soon take that off. It looks like it's just a film anyway, so we could get rid of that. That looks quite nice. The reg plates are a bit sort of Brexity, aren't they? But I could change those. That looks very nice, actually. Now, that's a little bit over budget. It's 7,495, but it's another dealer. So I'm thinking maybe I could potentially get a deal there. Oh, that's a pity. The driver's seat's all ripped. That's quite a common issue with the S5 because the seats are so sort of, I'm just making up words now at this point, buckety. The edge of the driver's seat can wear out quickly. By the looks of it, we've only got the Juan key. So if we get another one cut, that'll be about £350 from Audi. But yeah, look at the state of that seat. It isn't the end of the world because I could always take that to auto trim, let Jim the trim sort it. That would cost me about £250. But bear in mind this car's already over budget, so I don't want to start throwing money at it. It's automatic as well, which would make my life a bit easier. See, this one's only £4,990, but in the attention grabber, engine management light on and EPC light illuminated. That puts me off. Don't want that one. Don't want to buy a problem, do we? This one then is 6,750. There is plenty of choice, you know, for £7,000. I don't like the look of that though. Looks like the bonnet's been painted. Looks like there's a crease in the bonnet there. I don't like the wheels there. I like the design of the wheels, but somebody's powder coated them grey, which I don't like, and they put an RS5 grille on it, which looks hideous. They're not the standard exhaust either. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Why ruin a perfect car? This one looks okay. I quite like them in white, actually. So this one's for sale for 7,695, but potentially could have a deal. If I call them up and tell him I'm, you know, a trader as well, he might potentially trade it to me. Looks nice and clean. Nice and original. I don't like those wheels, to be honest. They're not my favourite. But they're standard Audi, at least. They're not Rip Speed or Fox or anything. Rear privacy I don't really like, but it's not offensive, that. It's all right. What's the mileage on that one? 97, so it's not too bad. This one's for sale in Barnsley, but that looks like it's been tampered with as well. It's got the wrong wheels on. I could get this back to standard, although someone's put the wrong exhaust on that, and I don't like the black wheels. Which is a bit of a shame, but quite nice interior. I'm not a big fan of the red. I think the red looks okay in the S4, but not the S5. That's only my opinion, of course, but right, we're way over budget now. I think it's unrealistic to expect to get one of these for my £7 grand budget. Plus, of course, we're going to have to spend some money on it. I want to do a gearbox service, a full engine service, all that sort of stuff. That was done 121, which is a bit too high, really. And it shows, look how worn the seat is. I wanted one with sort of, 60, 70,000 miles, really. Looks okay, but it doesn't really get me too excited. I think the best one, really, so far is that one in Oldham. You know what I'll do, actually? Let me just have a look on Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace gives me a headache most of the time. It's a bit of a jumble sale, isn't it? But you can occasionally get something that's been overlooked. Let's have a look. Right, there's one here then that's jumped out at me straight away. It's for sale for, well, it was 7,995, but it's been reduced to 6,750. It's a 2009 Audi S5. It's currently on a private reg with a V8 plate. It's a 2009 S5 V8 4.2 automatic Tiptronic, 80,327 miles, grey metallic paint, ivory interior, sounds nice, heated front seats, wireless Apple CarPlay has been fitted. Now, I don't like aftermarket stuff, but something like that would actually be an advantage. Adaptive cruise control, that's a good option. Rear camera, front and rear sensors, blind spot lights. Runs and drives perfectly, no issues other than driver's window struggles to operate correctly. New regulator is needed. Okay, well that could be interesting, couldn't it? The photographs look quite nice, it looks nice and original. The interior looks good as well. There's no ripped driver's seat bolster. Needs a good clean, but apart from that, a couple of empty bottles there, we can get rid of those. It's automatic. It's missing the little dial there of the multimedia thing. I can soon get one of those, I think. I think it might involve replacing the whole panel, but we can sort that. He's had it for sale for a while because this picture was taken on the 21st of July when it had only done 78,000 miles. That suggests he might be up for a deal. Right, well that's probably the best one I've seen, and it's a private seller, and it's £750 cheaper than the one in Oldham. Right, let me send him a message then. Hello, there's a good start. I'm interested in your Audi S5. Please contact me. There we go. Job done. Right, well while we wait for a reply, I may as well check it out on Car Vertical, hadn't I? Just make sure it's never been written off or stolen or something. Right, so we'll head over to carvertical.com, type in the reg, which is Whiskey Uniform 09 Hotel Zulu Golf, and then check vehicle. It's essentially, you do a check like this before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. It doesn't take long, as you'll see, and it isn't expensive either. And it's cheaper still if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you'll save 20% off each and every check that you do. It's currently checking database in 35 different countries, so this isn't just a UK thing. It'll produce a thorough report which will tell us if it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. In addition to that, it'll show us the MOT history, the ownership changes, if it's had any private plates over the years. It shows you the spec, the average market value. In fact, let me just show you. Right, so the report's ready. View reports. So it's all clear. Ah, this is what's clever about Car Vertical as well. It's even got the photograph of it. So the last time it was advertised, oh, we'll scroll down actually. So, good news, we're green on all four fronts there. It's never been clocked, no outstanding finance, no recorded damage. So we've got some photographs of the last time it was for sale. Well, that's reassuring, isn't it? Obviously with a dealer. I've used lots of these car checking sites over the years and I can't think of another one that's so thorough. At least now I can compare the pictures and see if anything's changed. Now that was for sale in September 21. That's good. Oh, it's for sale again then in October. There we go. Does look nice that actually. I know that was 3 years ago, but you can tell nothing's really changed. That's very good. Right, never been stolen. The last known mileage was 78,000 miles. That was in July this year. and it's fairly consistent every single year. It's nice low mileage that for its age, isn't it? The last known selling price was $13,790. The average market price of such a vehicle is $9,110. It's in the high tax bracket, but we won't dwell on that. 4 ownership records. Okay, this is the timeline then. Let's go down to its most recent MOT. It's had quite a few private plates. Ownership changed in 22. It was on sale. Ownership changed. Right, all tyre valves are starting to perish. Near side front lower suspension arm pin or bush worn. Fuel filler cap missing. That's a weird one. And near side rear tyres cut but not deep enough to show the ply. Right, okay. Right. Well, we're all clear. I'm getting more and more excited about this car. Now we just wait for a reply, I suppose. And this being Facebook Marketplace, that might actually never happen. So I think I'll continue looking just in case. After a few hours, the seller on Facebook responded about the 2009 Audi S5. We had a conversation and we agreed a deal at £6,000. So I arranged for collection the very next day. Right, well this should be quite an exciting day. My brother is due back any minute in the Audi S5 Coupe and I'm excited to see it. Haven't seen it in the flesh yet. My brother gave me a FaceTime tour of it earlier and it looked pretty good. I asked him to check the tyres, the wheels, the service history, the paperwork, all that sort of stuff. I asked him to make sure both keys were there and I also asked him to put the ignition on, make sure the engine light came on and then went out. You see sometimes with older used cars, people can cover up the engine light and I didn't want that to be the case. I don't want to see one of those on the dashboard. I paid the seller for the car, I've done all the paperwork, so I've marked it as being sold to the trade, so that's all done. So there's not much left for me to do. In fact, let me call my brother. Hi pal, you alright?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good. About 5 minutes away from the office, where are you?
Okay, good. I'm just at the office.
Oh yeah?
Park out the front then and I'll come down and have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds good. Is that you?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Is it alright? No issues?
Window regulator's a bit...
Yeah, I know.
Faulty on the driver's side. The wipers need...
Replace it.
Yeah. Not reassess, realigning the
Why did they not...
Sprayed over the roof.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Okay. Oh, we can adjust the little nozzle then. And new wipers.
Yeah.
They work though, the motor works.
Yeah.
Okay, right, fine. I thought you meant they were sort of stopping in the middle of the windscreen or something.
No.
Right, fine. Okay.
Filled it. And there's 100 miles left on the tank.
Oh, right, okay. Okay. Well, I know it's quite a thirsty car, so that's no surprise. All right. Yeah. Right, I'll stick the kettle on for you then. All right, see you in a second.
That's what, pal.
Cheers, pal. Bye. Bye. Well, that all sounds quite positive, doesn't it? I'm quite excited now. It's mad that you can pick up a car like this for just £6,000. So much car for the money, don't you think? A 4.2 litre 350 brake horsepower V8 coupe for £6,000. I know the road tax is high and the MPG is low, but you know, you can't have it all, can you? Right, let's go downstairs and wait for him then, shall we? Here he is, I've just seen it. This looks really good actually. Get a load of this. I like the LEDs. Oh, that looks cool. And it sounds awesome. Listen to that. That's really cool actually. He looks quite happy. That looks and sounds wicked. Are you impressed?
Impressed.
You like these as well, don't you?
This has been one of my dream cars.
Has it really?
Growing up, anyway.
Yeah.
No.
I love the colour.
So much fun.
Yeah.
It's effortless.
It's quite a good spec as well, this. So we've got...
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's fitted Apple CarPlay.
Okay.
But it doesn't connect to my phone. It does the phone, but not the audio. So
oh, really?
I had maps through it.
Oh. You know, by the way, I know you can put the key in there, but it's also keyless.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so if you take the key out, push it in. Yeah, pull the key out. So if you just press your brake and press the start button, yeah, it's keyless. Yeah, there you go. So there's no sunroof, but it is quite a good spec. So you've got blind spot monitoring here.
The button off there.
Oh yeah, off the multimedia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needs wash fluid. It's got
what else?
auxiliary in there.
Oh really?
CD changer.
Okay. Oh, so you could plug it in the old-fashioned way?
Yeah. It's got
no Bluetooth audio then, I take it. It's too old, isn't it?
He's fitted this.
Ah.
Android Auto.
Oh yeah, okay. But no music?
doesn't play my audio. There's something faulty with it. It
Right.
doesn't play my music, but it'll show on maps.
Will it play on Spotify or not?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I had radio. And
Okay, right.
Other than
So you've
that,
got memory seats, heated mirrors.
yeah, memory seats.
I've just noticed on the front as well, this must have radar cruise because it's got...
It does.
Have you tried it? Does it work? This little thing down there is like the adaptive cruise control thing. Kind of looks like another fog lamp.
Distance warning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I really like this.
That's lovely.
It's just that sound it makes when it's not even when you're not even trying.
Or even like at light.
Yeah. Power boot or not?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just springy.
No, spring.
So all the paperwork's there, handbook's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's lovely, honestly.
No, it's nice and clean actually. That's pretty good. I haven't driven one of these for ages. Yeah, good. So no wheel wobble at 70 miles an hour or anything, it's all solid?
Perfect.
Okay.
The window, it does go down sometimes.
Does it?
Sometimes it doesn't. So
Right.
it might be a wiring issue.
Right, okay. Rather than a faulty window regulator.
Noticed a couple of times. It goes down.
Oh really?
And then put it back up.
But it doesn't go all the way?
Which makes it.
Try it then. Oh yeah. That is a regulator, you can hear it grinding, can't you?
Yeah.
It's the cables that will all be
Away.
frayed, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, right, good.
He was a Matt Armstrong fan.
Oh really? Traitor.
But
We need to send him a high
Kevin-
peak.
Kevin as
Kevin the dog. Kevin!
Yeah.
Okay. Right, cool.
yeah. No, lovely.
Right, well I'm going to take this for a quick spin then.
Yeah.
And then drop it off at the mechanics. So it needs a full service. What about the MOT? I can't remember what it was.
It's got MOT until
Yeah, was it like July or something?
say April or May next year.
I think it's quite a long time. So just a full service and sort the window regulator out.
screen wash.
It's weird how that's a different colour than the seat, isn't it? I wonder if it's discoloured.
Discoloured maybe.
Maybe. It's quite a nice colour interior though, that.
No, it's great. Seats are really comfortable.
Yeah. Right, okay. Right, cheers pal, thanks for that.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Alright. Right, I'm going to go and take it for a spin then.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and take it. Right, cheers pal, see you in a bit. Well, I'm really pleased with this so far. It looks really nice and authentic. Right then, first time driving the Audi S5. Let's get off this big curb, there we go. Oh yes, that's so effortless. That was the one word my brother kept using actually, effortless, and he's right. I'd like to get the gearbox serviced actually, just because it's done 80,000 miles and it's probably never had one. This is a really nice car. Straight away I can tell you this has been looked after. Now the service history is full, but the last one was done about 12 or 13,000 miles ago. So I'll get that done. I'll leave it for a full engine service, just like I did with the S4. Also, Harvey, the seller, told me the air conditioning works, but it isn't ice cold. So I think while it's down at my mechanics, I'll ask Mike, the aircon guy, to come round and top up the gas. I imagine if it works a little bit, there's still some gas in there, so it's obviously doing its job, but just not as well as it should be. This is nice. Turn my heated seats on because it's bloody freezing today. So yeah, it's done 81,000 miles and not a single warning light on. Where am I going to order this new bit for the multimedia thing? Need to get hold of one, don't I? Oh, we've even got YouTube on this. It's not distracting in any way, is it? So we've got DAB, digital radio, bit of Kiss FM. Let's try this aircon then. Yeah, that's not blowing as cold as it should be, so he was right there. Should do a little acceleration test. I mean, it's up to temperature, we're at 90 degrees, so... That's such a cool car. You really can't beat a V8. We've got an auto-dimming rear view mirror, that's nice. Little sunglass holder there. I'm properly smitten with this. So we'll sort the window regulator out. That's probably going to cost me a couple of £100. Wait there, you, in your Q3. The full engine service is probably going to cost me £300. I might run it over to Prestige Wheels and get the wheels done. And then it probably wants a very good detail at Tameside Detailing. I might see if they can clean these leather seats up and maybe give them some leather food. They've probably never been treated. So I'll get that done. There's a little bit to do with this, but it isn't too extensive. Oh, Audi side assist system fault. Okay, we'll have to get that sorted as well, because that's quite a good feature. Whenever I drive a car now without that, it makes me really miss it. In fact, it turns you into a bit of a lazy driver. You don't even need to turn your neck anymore. You just glance into the wing mirror, and if there's a warning there, you know not to turn out. Driving around the city centre, for example, you know it means you're probably going to clip a Deliveroo driver off the push bike. What an awesome car this is. I'm over the moon with it. £6,000 for all this. Oh yes. And of course it's quattro, so it's all-wheel drive. Like the perfect winter runaround, isn't it, this? The other good thing is you don't have the same timing chain worries that you do with like the previous generation S4. So it just means that you can drive along in peace, really, knowing that that's not about to soil itself. Speaking of soiling oneself, my heated seat's getting rather warm. I really like this. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you already. Let's pull over then somewhere and I'll give you a proper tour of it. That sounds like a plan. Have we got any CDs left for me? No, sadly not. We've got a CD changer as well. The noise this makes at about 2000 RPM is just perfect. It's more of like a vibration than a noise. It just sounds really, really powerful. What's good about this as well, over the bumps it feels really solid. It isn't knocky or, you know, rattly. Can you imagine driving this out the showroom back in 2009? You'd have really arrived, I think. The original supply and dealer of this was Bristol Audi. All the early history was Bristol Audi, so it's come from the southwest. It's why it's on its W West of England plates. Oh yes. Sting it up here then. Oh yes. One thing I need to check out actually, I don't know if these suffer from that same carbon build-up issue that the RS5 suffers with. I know it's thanks to its fuel injection system, but the carbon doesn't get burnt off, and I don't know if this engine suffers with it. I know the RS5 does, that's prone, but I don't know if this one does. Might be worth getting some sort of like TerraClean thing done on it anyway. Just as a preventative measure. Right, we're at our little lay-by here then. Let me give you a proper tour then. There we go. I think we'll have a look at that engine, shall we? Oh, won't let me do it with the door open. There we go. This, by the way, when you try and turn on the blind spot monitoring, watch this, you press that button and you get this fault. So I need to get that fixed. But everything else is all right. Yeah, I need to get hold of, there should be a silver pad on top of that and it snaps off, so I need to try and replace that somehow. It probably comes as a complete unit, so I'm gonna have a look on eBay. Start engine button there is fine. Just needs a good old clean, really. In here there was something rattling. Oh, it's my locking wheel nut. So we've got an auxiliary jack there. I think you can buy a Bluetooth adapter for these nowadays, so we can soon sort that. That's no big deal. That's all good. Passenger window works, that's fine. It's just this driver's one that needs sorting. Yeah, new regulator is needed there. Turn my engine off then for now. So yeah, service due, exclamation mark, we've got that sorted. Take my keys with me before it auto locks. I don't know whether it does or it doesn't, but there's not an awful lot of wear on the driver's bolster either. Now on lots of other S5s that I saw, particularly that blue one that I saw on Auto Trader earlier, it had a big rip on the driver's seat. They're quite buckety, these seats, so it does wear out. Oh, we've even got cup holders back there, look at that. Yeah, it's a nice clean car, this. I'm well impressed. Could do with a fresh set of mats because they're eBay specials and they're a bit worn. Can do that. Needed a bit of a job list here, don't I? It's a cracking colour, that, actually. Let's have a look under here then at this 4.2 V8. Look at the size of it. It all looks very original. No sign of any accident damage here. We're all good. Yeah, this is pretty good actually. No signs of any paint work. There's a small little dent there, which we can get that popped out. There's a chip on the bonnet. So I'll have to get that touched in. I might call Audi actually and order the correct touch-up paint. Another one there maybe. That way it'll just look its best, won't it? I'll order some plates for it as well. I'll get some High Peak Autos plates, I think. This is the kind of car that I think if you put a private plate on this, you just wouldn't have any idea how old it was. I think this era of A5 has aged really gracefully. I loved this A5 when it came out. It was a really pretty car. I still do actually. Nice quad exhaust there. Be a nice little city car this actually. Just burbling around the city. Again, apart from needing a clean, it is completely original. We've got a first aid kit there. Loads of service history. I'm just going to turn the camera away. I didn't know it had any of this. So here, for example, we've got a clean MOT. We've got all the MOTs in a little wallet. It's just what you want to see. So I think its last service was done at 71,000 miles. I don't think this has been stamped in the book, you know. Oh yeah, it has. So Andrew James Cars in Rochester. So it serviced at 71 and it also had front brake discs and pads and rear pads. Here's the service history then. Let me show you this. So originally it was done by Bristol Audi, then another one at Bristol Audi. Then St George, Bristol. Then a place called Shrivenham Garage in Shrivenham. I don't know where that is. SN? Don't know. Is that Swindon? I don't know. Forgive my ignorance there. So it's got plenty of history. The last one was done at 71, so 10,000 miles ago. It also had an offside front CV gator. Yeah, it's pretty good. We've got another service there at Southend Audi. We've got all the original books. A warranty booklet there as well. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm well impressed. Oh, you can even fold the rear seats, look at that. It's quite a practical car than this, if you do a IKEA run or something. Or for example, if you're golfing with it, throw your clubs in and go to the driving range. This with a clean, I think is going to look really good. Harvey mentioned a dent somewhere on it. Was it on the rear panel somewhere? Oh, there. Can you see that little dent? I'll get the lads from Dents on that. I think they might have to take this rear light lens out and get the little rods in there and poke that out, but it should come. What really drew me to this was how original it was. There's no privacy, there's no smoked rear lights, there's no Miltec growler exhaust system, no 3D reg plates, no blacked out front grille. It is completely as God intended. Now in terms of tyres, what are we running on? We've got Yokohamas on the front with about 4mm of treads, they're alright. And what have we got on the back? We've got an Advance, oh no, another Yokohama. I was about to mock this as being a cheap Chinese brand, but no, it's a Yokohama. So we've got 4 Yokohamas. Yeah, I know a decent car when I see one, and this is a very decent car. Right, well I think that's about it then guys. I've got quite a job list here, so it's going to have a full service, gearbox service, fix the window regulator, give it a good clean, refurbish the wheels, touch up the paint, order some new reg plates. It's going to take me a couple of weeks I imagine, but I'm going to have a really nice example there, aren't I? I'm already really pleased with it, but once I've transformed it, it should be a really nice example. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I hope you enjoyed it and make sure you stick around for part 2. I don't know why I'm walking in this direction, the car's back that way. Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. A few weeks ago I bought a 2009 Audi S5 Coupe with a 4.2 litre V8 engine for just £6,000. It was quite a nice example, but it had a few faults, so I thought today I'd document its gentle restoration. Let's get started. Here is the car in question then. So it's a 2009 Audi S5 Coupe, finished in a nice grey colour. It's got the better alloys in my opinion. It's got 4 matching tyres, it's only done 80,000 miles. And yeah, I was very pleased with my purchase. But it did have quite a few faults. For example, the driver's window wasn't working, the air conditioning wasn't getting that cold, it needed a service because it was long overdue. I also said that I'd service the gearbox because I don't think it had ever had one done. And that's before we get onto the few cosmetic issues. There are a few little dents scattered around it. For example, there's a stone chip there, a few stone chips on it actually. There's a dent round the back, just above the rear light lens. I spotted a little one there actually, but the main one is there. It's quite, can you see that? It's quite pronounced actually, in certain lights anyway, it's quite obvious. So there's that to do. In addition to that, I need to get the wheels refurbished. So I'll run that over to Prestige, I think, and get those done. And then it needs a full detail. It needs a good polish, buff. I need to sort the interior out. It's got a nice, well, if it was a BMW, they'd call it oyster, but it's got a nice sort of oyster coloured interior, but it's a bit grubby. So I need to get that cleaned and then treated. I have had some of the jobs done already. So it's had its full engine service done at my mechanics. I'm down at my mechanics yard at the moment. So that's been done. And it's also had its gearbox serviced. So those two mechanical bits have been done already. There wasn't really much to show you with those two jobs. So I thought the cosmetic side of things would be a bit more interesting to show on camera. My mechanic said actually it all checked out fine, there were no issues, but when they replaced the spark plugs, bear in mind there were 8 of them in this big V8 engine, they were quite old and some of them were quite difficult to get out. So it's quite good actually that it's had a full engine service at this point. I'm not sure when its last full engine service was, it might have just had minor services, so those spark plugs could well have been a decade old maybe, if not older. Where should we go first then? I think we're going to head to the dents place. That's down near my office actually, so we'll head to dents and see if they can pop out these dents. In fact, I've just spotted one more. We'll keep them busy for a while, won't it? I mean, this is their area of expertise, but there are 2 little dents there, one there and one there, and then the main one is there. They're going to have to get that rear lamp lens out, aren't they? If they take the rear lamp out, they should be able to get in there with their rods. Also order some plates for it, I think. Right, let's get started. Right, let's get rid of this scruffy piece of paper then. Nobody wants that rattling around. My door's open. It's keyless, this car, so all we need to do is press the start button. Fire up the big V8. That sounds so cool. It's exactly that same sort of rumble that you get with the S4 that I love so much. Just sounds really powerful. Don't think we need any Rihanna, do we? Set my lights to auto, handbrake off. Oh, should we try the window? Now it's all fixed. You ready for this? Bear in mind before, it was just crunching. The cables had obviously worn out. You got a horrible grinding noise. Are you ready for this? Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot to mention actually, I've also had the air conditioning gassed. So Mike, the aircon man, who offers a mobile service, he's been out actually and gassed up the S5 and also the S4. So they're all ready to go. Just what you want in December, isn't it, that? Ice cold aircon. Let's get my heated seat on actually. I really like this car. Don't want to smash into my Fiesta, do we? Because that's now sold. First stop though, I'm going to go and see the lads at Dents. Try and get these annoying little dents popped out. Nothing more annoying, is there, than seeing a little supermarket dent on your car. Currently resurfacing this road, so I want to go nice and slowly because I don't want to plaster the sides full of hot tar that I'll never be able to get rid of. Now, there was no fault with the gearbox, but I just wanted to get it serviced really. It's done 80,000 miles and probably never had a gearbox service, so just thought by changing the fluid in the filter, it'll just prolong its life. That's my plan anyway. Right, so we've got a gap in the traffic. There we go. Listen to that. A nice deep roar, very soulful. I love V8s. You really can't beat a V8, can you? What's good about this as well is, most of the time it's just silent. You never really hear it. As soon as you get to like 2000 RPM, then you get that nice noise. As soon as these turn to green, we can sting it. Are you ready? Oh yes. What a car. My mechanic's done a full engine service on this car and a general check over, so they've changed all the fluids and the filters and all that sort of stuff, in addition to the spark plugs, so that's all fine. I was just chatting to my mechanic then before I got the keys, and he said that it was absolutely mint. No faults with it at all. He changed the window regulator as well, but there are no other faults. No oil leaks, nothing at all. Everything checked out perfectly. He even said he thought that it had been garaged its whole life because it was just in tip-top condition. But that, to be honest guys, is just more luck than anything else. Remember, this is a Facebook Marketplace car. I could have very well got this wrong, but just so happens I had some luck on my side. Once we've got the dents popped out, then I'll run this over to Prestige Wheels and get the wheels powder coated again, freshen those up. I also need to order the little button here for the multimedia system because that's missing. I need to order some mats for it. In fact, I might go to Audi Hyde, order the correct touch-up paint for it, and some fresh mats. Sounds like a plan. Right, slight change of plan then, guys. I've just spoken to Prestige Wheels, who have got a slot this afternoon, so I'm going to take it over there now. Thought there's no time like the present, really. Regarding the dents, I spoke to the lads at Dents, and they're just going to come out to the garage and pop the dents out for me there. So there's no point me taking it there, really. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to take it to Prestige, get them to strip the wheels, and then powder coat them silver. That way they should look factory fresh. So that's my plan. So I'll see you over in Bredbury. Okay then, well I've just dropped the S5 off at Prestige Wheels, so it'll be a day or two. I've asked them to give me a call when they start stripping the wheels because I thought I'd come back and film the whole process because I think it'd be quite an interesting process to watch. They do a really good job here, so I thought I'd show you exactly how it works. The wheels are just powder coated, so I've asked them to go for this, just bright silver, exactly as they would have left the factory. They're not in bad condition to be honest, but they will look a whole lot better when they're done. Once they're stripped, they'll look like this. Just down to their ugly bare metal basically. Then they get sprayed with the powder, with the current running through them, and then they get baked. So they look as good as new. Well, I'm just over at Prestige Wheels picking up the Audi S5 and they're now all done. So I think my next stop, I need to sort the dents out and take it for a good clean. But those wheels look as good as new. So we've had all four repaired and then powder coated, and they really are factory fresh right now. I've just dropped off this little Audi A1. There's another video coming with that later. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the results. It's a bit of an Audi S-car fest at Prestige. We've got an Audi S4 convertible there, an Audi S3. I think I've got the best one there, the S5. Right, let me head back to the dent place now then. Let's take all this protective stuff off. Fire up and get this heated seat on, I think. Oh yes. That noise just cheers you up. Heated seats, where are you? There we go, crank those right up. I need to take this little magnet off as well. That's irritating me. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to head straight over to Hyde Audi and order the touch-up paint for this and try and get some mats. Don't know whether I'll be able to get the mats or not, but I'm going to do that now. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. And we're back in my Audi S5 and I've had all the work done, all the jobs done. I'm really happy with the result. Bear in mind this is a car I bought blind from Facebook Marketplace for just £6,000. I think I've done all right. And you know what? Everything kind of went to plan. There were no nasty surprises. It's all pretty good news. Although having said that, I have massively overspent. We're coming to the end of the year now, and I've said that sentence so many times this year. And at the start of this year, I promised that things would be different, but anyway, you live and learn. Although, no, you don't really. Or I don't. Still, let's not dwell on the negatives. Let's remain optimistic. I've now got a fully sorted Audi S5, and I'm over the moon with it. I really am as happy as a pig in excrement. Let me give you a brief rundown then. It went to my mechanics first for a full service and a new window regulator. While it was down there, I got the aircon guy, Mike, to come out and re-gas the aircon, and it took the gas, so that works fine. What else? Oh, then it went for a gearbox service, so that was done. Somebody pointed out actually from the last video I did with this that it actually had a gearbox service done at around 40,000 miles. So, I mean, it's done 81, so it was due another one. But at least I know it's had two now, so that's good news. Then I ran it over to Prestige Wheels, who did another great job. As you can see here in this video, they stripped them, left them overnight, I believe, then repaired them and then powder coated them, and they look as good as new. I don't know what that is. They look as good at... What am I doing? They look as good as new, anyway. I think that was some sort of chef's kiss thing, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, have a look at them for yourselves. The whole car really does look factory fresh. From Prestige, I ran it over to Tameside Valeting, where it had a full buff. So they've done a stage 1 buff on the car and a full thorough clean. Also, I think they steamed the seats because the seats were quite grubby. So they got a leather brush on it, I believe, and got in all the little grooves and stuff, and they now look really good. I'm told actually the water they got out of it was filthy, so there's quite a lot of dirt and grime to be removed. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the result. The bodywork now is pristine. It's like looking in a mirror, really. The bodywork's so shiny you can almost see reflection. This would be a perfect car for somebody who's a bit vain. You know, somebody who, if they were a chocolate bar, would probably want to eat themselves. Then what else did I do? I got it back to work, and James from Dents, a local dent removal company, he came out and popped out the dents. There was quite a prominent one on the rear quarter there, so that's been popped out. He did a really good job, actually. I went to Hyde Audi and bought some correct touch-up paint for it in the correct colour. That was £14.95, but I think worth every penny. Oh, I ordered a new button for the MMI system. I found it on eBay. There was a little repair kit. I think it was about £5 or £6. So that arrived this morning, so I popped that on. I ordered some new number plates from Harrods, so I took the old ones off and fitted those. And I think that's about it. For what was quite a nice car to begin with, it has been quite a long list, this, and a bit of an overspend. So I think what we've got to do next, really, is park up somewhere scenic. Shouldn't be too hard around here, should it? And I'll talk you through my costs. I might need a deep breath for this one. Oh, and also Matt, my accountant, if you're watching this, probably turn it off now. You won't want to see this. Trust me, it's fine. There's nothing to see here. I love this car. I don't know whether I've told you this or not, but it's just the power, the noise, the sensation, the styling. It has got it all. I also like the fact that I know it's Quattro. It just gives me a bit of peace of mind. There's one more job that I need to do, actually. Do you remember the blind spot monitoring system that wasn't working? Well, still isn't working. Audi side assist system fault. Now, my mechanic scanned it, and apparently there are 2 sensors that are down. I had a look on eBay, and I found 2 replacements in Germany. They're about €200 each, so I haven't got around to ordering those yet. But I shall, because I want to make this car as perfect as I possibly can. I mean, for a 15-year-old car, it is just... Listen to that. Oh, yes. Superb. First class. I filled this up the other day, actually, and it took about £90, but I put the proper fuel in it. I put premium petrol in it. The premium's got some sort of additive in it which helps keep everything clean, so I always try and put the premium stuff. Same for diesel, when I'm in a car that I care about. In fact, that reminds me, the fuel door wouldn't open, so I had to give it a bit of a whack. Bam! It turns out it needs a new fuel door actuator or something, so I've ordered one. It's down at my mechanic's. She said it was only like a 10-minute job to fix, so I'm going to go there after this and have that fitted. But yeah, then we're nearly done. Listen to that noise. And we're at my little favourite lay-by. Right. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? I think we'll leave the engine on. So, if you remember, I paid £6,000 for the car, so we'll get that out of my calculator. Right, £6,000, which was cheap for one of these, actually. I'm well aware of that. Having said that, it did need a little bit of work. The bill at my mechanics then, so it had a full engine service, so cabin filter, air filter, oil filter, spark plugs, oil, offside front window regulator. That was £170 for a genuine Audi part, plus wiper blades, £30. What else? Labour. I did the wiper blades because they were a little bit smeary, so replaced those. So my total there was £860 and 80 pence. So 860.80. The next bill was the dents. Now that was £45, so we'll add 45 to the total there. The touch-up paint was £14.95. The bill at Tameside Valeting was £300. That was for a full buff and a full valet, which I think was a bargain because they've really worked the magic on it. It looks stunning. The little button for the MMI was £5, I think. 5 or 6 anyway. The bill at Prestige Wheels was £333, so all the 3s. £15 for some reg plates. £120 for a gearbox service. And then £60 for the aircon gas. Are you ready for this? You ready? This is the big one. Drum roll, please. This well-sorted 2009 Audi S5 with 81,000 miles on the clock that looks as stunning as... I've done it again. That looks as stunning as this currently owes me £7,753 and 75 pence. Now, bear in mind at the start of this video, when I was looking for an Audi S5, actually the start of the last video, when I was looking for an Audi S5, there was some on Auto Trader at £7,500 that still needed work. So I think the fact that I've got a fully sorted one for £7,750 is a bit of a bargain. I think so anyway. I'm saying that for the benefit of my accountant if he's still watching. No, genuinely, I think £7,750 is it's a bit of a deal, really. I just love this thing. It's very much like the S4 in that it's sort of one of those cars that if you know, you know. It's one of those cars that sort of less is more, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I might be just blabbering on now for no reason, and the sun's in my eye. Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, behind me I think is one of the best value V8 coupes money can buy. It's a beautiful looking coupe with a big V8 up front. What's not to like? What's amazing is that you can pick up these S5 coupes from as little as £5,000, but they're not without their problems. So today, I thought we'd go through all the things you need to be aware of before you hand over any cash for one. I genuinely think these will start to go up in value in the very near future. I mean, think about it. You get a naturally aspirated 4.2 litre V8 petrol engine up front, you get all-wheel drive, it's available with 6-speed manual, and, I mean, they only ran this model for about 4 years. They ran the S5 from 2007 until 2017, but the V8s were only available for about 4 years. The later models dropped this V8 in favour of a smaller V6, which means these V8s are quite rare. I just think it's quite iconic. Because these cars depreciated so heavily, I mean, it's the same old story. They got very cheap, and then of course they fell into the wrong hands. So to find one like this, completely unmolested, is quite rare. Most have been modified and abused, and that's not really what I like. Anyway, first up, first common issue, door locks. This is a common issue with all VW and Audis from this era. The door latches fail, and you're looking at around £250 to replace. So before you buy one, lock the doors and make sure that it does lock, and then unlock it and make sure it opens. It sounds straightforward, but just double check. It happened with this particular car on the passenger side, so I am speaking from experience. The next big thing then is more cosmetic really. It's interior wear, specifically on the driver's seat bolster. The seats are very nice and they're quite buckety, which means of course, as you get in and out, this right-hand edge does take a bit of wear. The last S5 that I had actually worn all the way through, so I had to get a new panel stitched in, and that cost me about £220. While we're on the subject of wear and tear, the other issue is the start button. The top layer of that button could just wear off. It's starting to happen on this, but happily that's quite a cheap fix. You can pick up new start buttons for about £18 from eBay. That's something that I'll do on this, and I'll attempt to do that myself. Can't be that hard, can it? Something else to be wary of are these wheels. As beautiful as they are quite easy to curb. While I'm down here then, we may as well talk about the other common issue, suspension components. Because this car is quite nose heavy, the engine itself weighs a lot, and it's also positioned just in front of the front axles, the rubber suspension components do take a bit of a beating. Before we pop the bonnet and talk about the potential engine trouble, there's one more thing you need to check on the interior. That's the car audio. This sounds quite obvious and it's quite a simple thing to check. Just turn the radio on and make sure you get some noise coming out the speakers. If you don't, it could mean that the amplifier is blown. That's quite a common issue. Right then, let's talk about the really expensive stuff. What you're looking at here then is a 354 brake horsepower V8. And like all performance cars, they're quite complex and things can go wrong. First up then are coil packs. This is quite a common issue with VW and Audis. If you get a misfire or an engine light on, it could be that. If the coil packs don't cure your hypothetical misfire, it could mean that you've got a dodgy fuel pump. Now, in typical Germanic fashion, there isn't just one fuel pump, there are two. Happily though, they're quite easy to access, so it isn't a big job. The other thing that could go wrong are the injectors. Now, just to prolong the life of the injectors, what I'd recommend is at least every other fill it up using proper premium fuel. In addition to that, I'd recommend an additive. Pop one of those in, and it should keep the injectors nice and clean. The other thing the V8 S5 suffers with are coolant leaks. Now that's usually from this reservoir here. It gets brittle with time and it can crack, and then your coolant seeps out. I've got this particular issue with this one, so I've got a new tank on order, that'll be fitted. That's quite a straightforward job. Before I close the bonnet then, we must discuss the elephant in the room. Timing chain. On the previous generation S4, the V8, the B7, that was prolific for snapping its chain. In fact, it was the timing chain guides. They'd go brittle over time and just snap. Then you'd have major issues, and you'd be talking around £3,500 to replace it. Later models like this, the B8, use a different engine, so it's not as common an issue. They've strengthened the guides and everything's just improved. However, no timing chain lasts forever. If you're looking to buy one of these and keep it for a very long time, I'd advise you change the chain every 90 to 100,000 miles. It's going to cost you maybe £3,500, but I think it's worth it in the long run. The telltale signs of your chain wearing out is an audible rattle on startup, or a long time turning over before it fires up. Whenever I think of a timing chain, I always think of a chain on a bicycle, but it's way more complex than that. I think the chain system on this V8 has like 5 different chains. They're all operating at high speed, so they simply can't last forever. There is one more common issue here, but I'll explain that on the road because we're actually heading to a specialist now to have this sorted. Right, come with me. Sounds so good, this car. I've had this for, I don't know, 2 months now, and I just haven't got bored with it. Not only is it very pretty and good fun to drive, it's also just a really classy car. One more piece of advice to give you, by the way, is before you hand over any cash for a used S5, make sure you do a thorough vehicle history check first. Now, I always use a company called Car Vertical. It's really easy to use and it isn't expensive. It's cheaper still, by the way, if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK. That's HIGHPEAK, all one word, HIGHPEAK, and you'll save yourself 20% off each and every check that you do. All you do is go to carvertical.com, I'll leave the link below in the video description, and then type in the reg or the VIN. And by the way, this isn't just a UK thing, it works in 35 different countries. If, for example, this has had a smash in Spain or a bump in Belgium, this report will tell us. I just don't know of any other check that's quite so thorough. This tells you whether it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. In addition to that, it tells you the ownership history, whether it's had a private plate on it, the MOT history, the mileage every year, the spec, the average market value, all that sorts of stuff. Sometimes as well, if the car has been involved in an accident, it shows you a photograph of the recorded damage, so it's a really useful tool. As you can see with the report on this S5, the report even shows you photographs from the last time it was for sale. That might seem a little bit useless, but I thought it was really helpful because I could compare the condition to the car that I saw advertised on Facebook Marketplace all those months ago with the car advertised 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, definitely do a Car Vertical check before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. My code is HIGHPEAK for 20% off. So thanks Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. What I love about this car is, yes, it's got a big 4.2 litre V8 petrol engine up front, but it doesn't really shout about it. It's nice and subtle and understated. Instead, you just get a classy V8 rumble. I really like that. It's like less is more. It's a constant reminder, really, that you're in something quite special. In addition to the common issues that I've already talked about, the other thing to consider are the running costs. Now, this falls into the highest road tax bracket in the UK. So to tax this car for 12 months here in Britain, it'll cost you £735, which is a bit of a slap in the face, isn't it, really? After you've paid your national insurance and your corporation tax and your income tax and all that sort of stuff, then they want even more from you. In addition to that, the S5 isn't what you'd call economical. This will do around 17 miles per gallon around town and mid-20s, well, mid to high 20s on a steady run. It's not terrible, but it won't win any Greenpeace awards either. The V8 S5 was available with a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 6-speed automatic. Now, both are pretty good, to be honest. I do prefer the auto, it just makes life easier. Another piece of advice is that you must service the auto gearbox. They need a service every 40,000 miles. This current model has done 82,000 miles and it's been done twice. If you don't have that done and it breaks, you'll be facing quite a large bill. The manual gearbox is quite a pleasure to use, but be warned, if your clutch goes, you're looking at around £1,300 to replace. It's quite an expensive job. The other thing that I would do is make sure you change your oil every 6,000 to 8,000 miles, just to keep everything ticking over nicely. And I'd also make sure you service the differential. It's such a nice car to drive and be in though. The interior is nice, you've got plenty of room, plenty of space, plenty of storage. The seats are nice and comfortable and supportive. The steering's very good. Of course, being an Audi, it's a little bit on the light side, but it handles nicely. And you also have a little bit more confidence with it in the winter because it's all-wheel drive. It uses Audi's legendary Quattro four-wheel drive system. I just think when you consider all the things this car can do, you know, big V8 engine, Quattro all-wheel drive system, manual gearbox available, it's quite an appealing proposition. I can't really think of a cooler V8 coupe at this price point. If you can, let me know below in the comments, but pretty sure it doesn't exist. Now, a few minutes ago when I had my head under the bonnet, I told you there was one more thing to consider. Now, that's carbon build-up. This engine can suffer with a build-up of carbon. It's more of a common issue in the RS5, not the S5, but it can still happen, so it's still something you want to get checked out. Because on this newer engine, fuel's sprayed directly into the cylinder rather than over the valves, it can lead to a build-up of carbon. You see, the fuel would normally act as a cleaner for the valve, but that just isn't the case with this engine. And that's why you need to have a carbon clean. This car is a 2009, so it's 15, nearly 16 years old, and I doubt it's ever been done. I've done some research, and the best remedy is something called walnut blasting. Based on the research I've done and the forums I've ended up on, I think they take off the inlet manifold and then clean it all out properly and then build it back up. It's about a 2-hour job. It's going to cost me around £400, but once it's done, it's done. Should be good for another 10 years then. There are absolutely no symptoms with this car, so I've got no real reason to do it, only I know it's a common issue, and I always preach that prevention's better than the cure. And of course, like everything I've got, not just cars, I like to look after things properly. I'm a firm believer that if you look after something properly, then it will last. That's why all the cars I've got, I tend to go over very thoroughly and make sure everything's been done. It just makes me feel better like a responsible owner, and gives me a bit more confidence. While I was researching this walnut blasting, I rang around a couple of garages, and the quotes varied from £400 all the way up to £650. I called one garage who did a carbon clean, but they didn't use walnut blasting, and when I told him that I had an Audi S5, he said, no, that won't work, you need walnut blasting. Right, okay, well, it's a new one on me, but I'll go with it. Apparently you'll know when you've got a serious carbon buildup because you'll lose some power and your MPG will deteriorate. So I'm quite intrigued to see what they find here. I'm heading to a place called Autotech, who I've used before, Autotech Cheshire, in a place called Pot Shrigley. I'm going to leave this car with them. It's having the walnut blasting thing done. It's also having a diff service, and also there's a fault with the air conditioning, so they're going to do that as well. In a couple of days' time when it's all done, I think I'm pretty much there with this car. Well, I think that's about it then, really. I've mentioned all the common issues that I'm aware of. Overall, none of those things would put me off buying one. I think for £6,000 or £7,000, this is so much car for the money. As I always recommend though with cars like this, if you've got just enough to buy the car, forget it, don't buy it. What you need with a car like this is a bit of a rainy day fund. If you buy one, keep a few £1,000s to one side to do all the work to it that I've had done. That way you know you've got a good solid example. If you only got £6,000 or £7,000, then you're not leaving yourself any room to do any of this work. Then things will start to break and go downhill, and then you'll be on forums saying how unreliable S5s are. This is what I always see with used Range Rovers and Mercedes and all that sort of stuff. Oh, before I forget, I've started a new channel, a second channel, so it's called More High Peak. I'll leave the link below in the video description, but I'd really appreciate it if you head over to that channel and check out the content. There's some behind the scenes stuff and some fun little videos, so if you like this channel, I think you'll also like that one. So check it out. Well, this video was supposed to be fairly straightforward. I started filming it about 6 weeks ago. You see, I was driving my 2009 Audi S5 one day and it developed a couple of issues. The engine light was on and I could smell petrol. I parked up at the office in that space over there actually. When I got out of the car, there was a strong smell of petrol. So I got my hands and knees and had a look under it, and it wasn't just dripping, it was leaking out. So I quickly went up to the office to get my camera gear because I knew this was going to be worth filming. I knew we were heading for a breakdown. I suspected it might have been an issue with the timing chain. My mechanic warned me of that a few weeks prior, but I was just dreading it. Anyway, fast forward nearly 6 weeks, and what should have been a routine job turned into a bit of a nightmare. Honestly, it stressed me out so much, this car. And unfortunately, that means I've got a massive bill. Honestly, you won't believe how much money I've spent on this. Well, we're back in my 2009 Audi S5 Coupe with the 4.2 litre V8, and we've got a bit of a problem. In fact, it could turn out to be quite a serious problem. I've done several videos with this car over the last few months. Now, I bought it off Facebook Marketplace for just £6,000. And then what I did was go over it with a fine-tooth comb, just to try and iron out any possible issues. I really wanted to try and make this S5 the nicest one out there, so I've had absolutely everything done. I had a full engine service done, a gearbox service done, I've serviced the front diff, the rear diff, the transfer box, the air conditioning system. I've taken it to Audi and had the blind spot monitoring system done. That needed a software update. I've done every possible thing to it just to try and make it as nice as possible. And how's the car repaid me for all this love and attention I've given it? It's thrown on an engine light. For the last few days now, every time I've gone to start it, it's taken longer than it should to fire up. It's just turned over for a good, maybe 10 seconds before it starts up, which is a bit worrying. I'm quite worried, to be honest, because what I suspect has gone wrong here is my timing chain. Now, anyone with a V8 Audi will know that timing chain-wise, you're on borrowed time. They always need to be replaced every sort of 80 or 100,000 miles. This beautiful S5 of mine has done 82,000 miles, so I think it's going to be that. And it's quite a costly job. So what we're going to do now is limp this down to my mechanics, plug it in and see exactly what it needs. But I suspect it'll need a new chain, and it's around a £3,500 job. Quite expensive, but it's very involved. This is why sometimes, you know, you're far better off with a cam belt. You can replace the rubber belt for about £400, job done. Whereas with a chain, it's a much bigger job. Also last week I had this carbon cleaned, had it walnut blasted. I also had the injector seals replaced. I've really done everything just to try and make sure that it continues to purr. I've upset it, obviously. Right, anyway, I'm down at my mechanics, so I'll have an update for you very soon, hopefully with good news. Hopefully not chain related, but we shall see. It smells a bit of fuel, this as well. That's not good. Got a strong whiff of petrol. Don't you just love cars? Well, I got that dreaded call from my mechanic. It is indeed the timing chain. Now, I could have continued using it, but it would have got worse and worse. And then eventually probably would have just given up the ghost completely. So I thought the best thing to do would be just to bite the bullet and get on with it. It's a car I love, so I may as well just get on with it, hadn't I? Now, my mechanic said it's a very labour-intensive job. It's going to take something like 32 man-hours. What they've got to do is drop the engine, drop the gearbox, lift the car up out of its way. Then while the engine's on the bench, they've got access to the back of the engine, where the timing chains are, to replace all 4 or 5 chains. So it's a major job. Then once all that's done, they can put it back in the car and get it running again. So I'm down at my mechanic's now just to check on the progress. They spent all of yesterday stripping the engine out of the car. So I've just got a glimpse of it. That, you can't even tell that that's a car. That's really sad to see because I love this thing. Let's go and have a chat with the mechanics then and see how it's going to work. Right, talk me through the job then. So the engine's out, engine and gearbox are out.
Engine gearbox is out. The plan now is to strip gearbox off the back of the engine to gain access to the timing cover with it, really.
Because the chains are at the back of the engine.
Chains are at the back, yeah. Yeah.
Why would they have put the chains at the back? Is it just a design flaw?
I think it's just a design thing with them more than anything else.
Okay.
I mean, it would have been easier if we were obviously at the front.
You could have just taken the front bumper off, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And the grille and whatnot.
It's just how they've designed them, I think, really.
Okay. Apart from it being very sort of labour intensive, was it quite straightforward to get it out?
More or less, yeah. Everything's come apart quite nice. I've not struggled with anything. So
okay.
It's been straightforward.
And there were 5 chains or something at the back, aren't there?
I think 4 or 5 chains on the back.
Okay.
I don't know, obviously, until I've got it stripped apart.
So same with the cam then, you lock everything in place and then take the chains off?
Yes, lock the cams, lock the crank, and it's just a case of remove the tension off the chains and just take each chain off one by one and then time each one by one.
Right. And replace the tensioners as well?
Tensioners as well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we're at this stage then, we might as well, if you spot anything else that's leaking or loose or old or whatever, we may as well replace it.
Yeah, more of a preventative maintenance thing more than anything else, especially once it's all back in, you might not be able to get to stuff.
Exactly.
Especially at the rear of the engine as well, so like almost like your timing cover gaskets and stuff like that would need to be replaced anyway.
Okay, so we may as well do that, haven't we? I don't think there's any oil leaks on it, but I mean, you'll know, won't you?
It's bone dry, so I don't think there's any at the moment, so...
Right, that's all right then. Okay. And we had to get the aircon guy out, didn't we, Mike?
Yes, just to remove the gas out of it so I could take the aircon condenser off.
Okay.
More than anything else, because that was sort of just holding me up at one point. So.
Yeah, right. So everything's gone to plan though so far? There's nothing nothing that you've seen or found that's bad?
No, it's a clean, it's a clean engine, clean vehicle.
Right, good. So next step then basically is gearbox off. And off. Then you can reveal the timing chains basically.
Pretty much.
Okay. Right, well, will that be today then, do you think?
I should hope so.
Yeah, okay.
I should hope so.
Right. I'll come back later then and see how you're getting on with it.
Yeah.
All right. Right, well, good luck then. Right, well, I'm going to leave them to it. They've got plenty of work to do. It's really broken my heart seeing it like that. I'm going to go back to the office now, and then in a couple of hours' time, once they've got access to the timing chains, they're going to give me a call, and I'll come back down, I'll bring you guys along, and I'll show you exactly what's happening. Although I feel a bit sick about the whole thing, I know that once it's been done, then I've probably got the nicest S5 out there, haven't I? Every single job will have been done then. And yeah, while it's at this stage, if we replace anything that's leaking or loose or old, then, I don't know, gives me a bit of confidence that we've got a good one. So, anyway, right, I'll see you soon. Hang on. So we've just come back down to my mechanics now, and I thought I'd give you a quick update with the S5. So they've managed to take the gearbox off, and then the gearbox then has revealed the location of the timing chains. So the timing chains are here, basically. It still needs stripping down, but once that's off, then that will reveal where the timing chains are. And of course, they're going to replace the timing chain gaskets and stuff, the cover gaskets, so that'll all be sorted. Just removing the gearbox alone looked like a massive task. I was watching in the wings, not really offering to help, but it took 4 of them to lift it off. I could have saved some money and used non-genuine parts, but I thought I'm kind of in for a penny, in for a pound here, and I didn't want to cut corners. So I went straight to Audi and got all genuine parts. So the full chain kit, all the nuts, all the bolts, everything's come from Audi. So we shouldn't have any complications, I hope. I think I'll leave it with them now for a few more hours, and then hopefully once they've got access to the timing chains, I'll nip back down and get some more footage. That's the plan. Right, we're down to my mechanics now. Today's a fresh day, and they've managed to take the covers off so we can see the timing chain. And instantly, I've got a migraine. How complicated is that? Now, whenever you think of a timing chain, I always think of like, you know, something simple like a bicycle chain. But in actual fact, we've got 4 or 5 chains here. It's just such a complicated system. everything needs to be timed up here perfectly, then locked in position, take the old timing chains off, and then put the new ones back on. It's quite a big job this, isn't it? Now you've stripped this then, so just talk me through what you're going to do next.
Well, plan is now is time it up so everything's all locked in place and nothing can move, and it's literally just a matter of taking the tension off the chain. So it's just literally push these back. These are oil-filled tensioners.
Okay.
Push these back, drop the pins in, and it'll take the slack off basically.
Right.
So you can start on doing everything, take everything off one by one.
And is there any sort of fault with this that you've seen yet, or is it too early to see? Or?
It's too early to say, really. I mean, if we look at the tensioners, they do look quite far out, so
Okay.
it is probably due for being done more than anything else.
That's good,
I think they're due sort of every 90,000, I think, on
Yeah,
the...
it's done 82,000 miles,
Yeah,
this.
so it's-
and it's 15 years old, so they're not
Better
going to
off
last
doing it
forever.
now than-
Yeah. And it's a high-performance engine, isn't it? So
Yeah.
they're under a lot of pressure, really.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, it's a big job, this, but is this the sort of job that a DIYer could do? Is it too much?
It all depends on your skill set at the end of the day. It's not something you want to do on your drive at
No.
all.
Okay. I was just thinking about anyone watching this video. That was all. Thinking, if you could, you'd have to be quite competent, wouldn't you? Quite confident.
Yeah. I mean, you can read through as many forums and stuff as you want for doing it.
Yeah.
There's a wealth of information out there, but doing it on your drive, on your
Yeah.
back, it's not something you'd want to be doing.
No,
No,
definitely not.
No.
And then obviously there's a sequence to this, isn't there? So you've got to do that in the right order.
Yes. It's literally a case of locking the cams up with a crank.
Okay.
And then just take each chain off one by one,
Yeah.
and then basically just fit in reverse order, basically.
Okay. And also, we're going to replace the starter motor, aren't we?
Yes.
So the starter motor is buried by the engine.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult job to change once everything's all built up. So we're at
Yeah.
the point now with gearbox out and stuff
We
like
might
that.
as
You
well
may as
do
well
it.
just do it as sort of preventative more than anything else. It doesn't
Okay.
need one, but
No.
if it's to ever
But
go,
again, it's 15 years old. Might as well do it, haven't we?
Yeah, it would
All
look
right.
like engine out job to do the start motor if it ever went. So.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, we might as well do that then, haven't we? Right, I'll leave you to it then. We're back down at the mechanics, and Tim's put all the new chains on and got everything timed up. So it's all quite exciting, really. And you'll notice the gaps here between the tensioners. On the old ones, there was quite a big gap to obviously make up for the slack in the chain. So the new ones are much tighter. Had we not had this issue with it, it would have definitely needed to be done in the next sort of 10,000 miles anyway, which makes me feel better. Next thing to do then, Tim's cleaned off all the remnants of the adhesive, so that can have the new gasket on before we put the timing cover back on. Did you have any problems with it, Tim, or not?
None.
Everything went to plan?
Yeah, everything went really smoothly.
So it's just a case of following it step by step, really?
Pretty much, yeah.
Each
Take your
chain?
time with it.
Okay. So now you're gonna turn it over by hand? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, watch this then. Oh, look at that. That's quite satisfying to watch, isn't it? So obviously you do this by hand just to check that everything's...
Yeah, nothing's locking up, everything's in time.
Everything's in
stuff
position.
like that with it, really.
Okay. It's so complicated, isn't it? These are the little tensioners here, look. So they're oil filled so that over time, as the chain sort of slackens, they push out to keep the tension on the chain. You know, with timing belt tensioners, they're not oil filled like that, are they?
No,
They're
they
just
rely on
sprung, are
spring
they?
tension
Right,
on those.
fine. Okay. What's the next step then now?
Clean what's left of, obviously, oil and sealant that's
Okay.
on the face there. Clean it, obviously, off my timing cover, fit the new crank seal to cover, and then
Okay.
just replace the cover, really.
Once this is done then and back in the car and running, do you have to give it like a run-in service in a few hundred miles or not?
Not necessarily,
No?
no.
Okay.
No. Oil, obviously, would be changed once it's all back up inside and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of just running everything up to temperature and make sure everything's
Right.
sealed, no oil leaks, no fuel leaks, and
Okay.
no water leaks anywhere.
And you were saying then this is the head gasket here, isn't it?
Yes.
So you just need to be careful not to pinch that when you're putting the cover back on.
So what I'll do with that really is I'll feed a very thin between the timing cover and the head gasket, and it'll
Okay.
create like a ramp at the end of the day. So as I slide the cover in, it'll keep the head gasket pinched against the
Right.
basically on the channel here.
So it doesn't sort of kink or...
you bend it inwards, it's going to cause it either.
Okay. That's quite satisfying then, isn't it, to see it? And the new starter's on.
New starter is on, yeah.
That's good. So once the cover's back on, then it's just a case of what? Offering it up,
Building it all back up then.
gearbox back on.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
We are aiming for Tuesday.
Okay, right, good. Right, I'll leave you to it then.
That's fine.
Right, cheers, pal. And we're back in my beautiful Audi S5 Coupe, which is now fully finished and ready to go. It's had a new timing chain, a new starter motor, a new crankshaft position sensor, a new reluctor ring, a new wiring loom, a new injector seal, a new rear main oil seal. Honestly, I've spent so much money on this car. It's had so many new parts, it's really like, well, it's like Trigger's broom. It's also taken about 6 weeks, which is approximately 5 weeks longer than it should have done. But still, we got there in the end. It's now fully sorted and running beautifully. I really love this car, so it's definitely worth spending the money on, but it's certainly tested my patience. After we last spoke then, my mechanic had turned it over by hand and he was quite satisfied that the timing was right. Then it was just a case of building it back together. So we put it all back together, which took hours and hours and hours, and then when he went to start it up, nothing. It just turned over forever, but wouldn't fire up. So he did various checks and tests and it was coming up with loads of fault codes. At that point then, it's a bit of a process of elimination. You just got to work through the faults and hope that one of them cures it. It was getting fuel, so it wasn't that. By the way, the little fuel leak was one of the new injector seals. When the previous garage had changed the injector seals, they'd sort of, I don't know, they damaged one of them, so it was leaking from that. So that was a simple fix. He subsequently spent hours and hours and hours checking through everything to make sure he hadn't done anything wrong. And he just couldn't get to the bottom of it. It was coming up with a faulty crankshaft position sensor, so it had a new one of those. That didn't cure it. Then he suspected that he damaged the wiring loom when he was taking it all apart, which could have been quite an easy thing really. I mean, bear in mind this is a 2009 car. When you completely strip it all out and remove the engine, it is quite possible that one of the wires was damaged. So we replaced the wiring loom, but still nothing. At that point then, it was sort of back to the drawing board. Bear in mind, days and days and days were being wasted here with it stuck on a ramp. Nobody could figure it out. Then in the end, they realised that it could be a dodgy reluctor ring. Now, the reluctor ring, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I imagined that it would have teeth on it, visible teeth, like a cog or something, but then I'm not mechanically minded, as you'll have no doubt seen in many other videos. But anyway, that was my understanding of it. But it's not, it's perfectly smooth, but it has sort of teeth on them that are, I don't know, they're sort of magnetised. He was showing me through this lens that shows, I don't know how you describe it, magnetisation? I don't know. I'm showing my ignorance now, aren't I? But what had happened with the old reluctor ring, it had obviously been beside one of his tools with a magnet on or something, and it kind of lost its magnetisation. So as it was spinning round, there were big gaps, or you know, like big gaps in the teeth where this thing had been damaged. And that obviously could have been such an easy thing to overlook. I mean, I would have never known. It looked perfectly fine, it didn't look damaged. But sure enough, when he replaced the old reluctor ring with a new one, it fired straight up. So he built it all back up and then was using it for a few days to go home just to make sure that it was all fine. Sure enough, it wasn't. He got it back up on the ramp and it was leaking oil from the rear main oil seal. Now, that's quite a labour-intensive job. I've had this many times before. It obviously just happened because it had been disturbed. So once again, everything came off and that seal was replaced. He went home in it again and the next day it was bone dry, so that was fine. So I thought I was out of the woods then really, so the next day I went to go and collect it with the intention of taking it for a good valet because it was filthy. I drove it for a couple of miles and the engine light came on. So I turned around, took it back down to my mechanics, got them to scan it. And again, it was coming up with loads of weird faults. It just didn't seem right. Anyway, they spent hours and hours working away on it and eventually sorted it. I think, to be honest, because the whole thing had just been disturbed several times and it's quite a complex car, it just wasn't happy about it. So various parts were replaced and now it is running perfectly. I'm quite pleased about it, really. It's caused me no end of stress, this. I was genuinely worried about it. There was a point about 3 weeks in where I thought, I'll never see this car running ever again. It's just not going to happen. But sure enough, my pessimism wasn't warranted. It's all fine. All it took was weeks of sleepless nights and feeling sick, and thousands of pounds. I really don't know what I was worried for. But still, we got there in the end, though, and I'm just grateful to my mechanic for not giving up with it. Everyone there did their best and rallied round and got it working, and I'm over the moon. Would you like to know what I've spent? Now, thankfully, once again, I'm grateful for my mechanic because they haven't charged me for an awful lot of parts. In their defence, it was the first time they'd done a job of this magnitude, so we were all new to it, really. At the start of this video, I seem to recall mentioning that my bill would be about £3 grand. That was a little bit optimistic. In the end, my total bill was £3,287 plus VAT. That, of course, means that my grand total is just shy of £4,000, which is... it's an awful lot of money, really. It's an awful lot of money for a £6,000 car. But still, I'm fairly confident now. Well, this car's had everything. It's had absolutely everything. It must be one of the best in the UK. I've had the engine serviced, the timing chain replaced, the starter motor replaced, a whole load of parts under the engine. I've had the diff serviced, the gearbox serviced, the air conditioning system serviced. Oh, that was something else actually. After it was done at my mechanics, I had to get the air conditioning gassed up again. So I took it over to Collision Craft near my office, and they gassed it for me, so that cost me another £60. Then from there, because it was filthy, I took it to Tameside Detailing for a full valet, and it now looks as good as new. In fact, I'm forgetting a couple of things. I also needed to get the tracking sorted, so I took it to Quick Fit over in Hyde. And I also took it to Jimmy. The fuel door wasn't put on properly. On the previous MOT, it advised that the fuel door was missing. So obviously someone's stuck it back on, but they hadn't stuck it on properly. So Jimmy took it off, cleaned it, and fitted it properly. And it's now perfect. It was bothering my OCD. So this car now owes me an awful lot of money, but I'm completely confident with it. It drives perfectly, everything works, the air conditioning is ice cold. We got there in the end. And I suppose with something like this, that's all that matters really, isn't it? So you know I said at the start of this video that I might be facing a large bill? Well, weren't I right? Anyway, on that note, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out the new channel. So I set up a new channel called More High Peak. We've just hit 50,000 subscribers, so go and check it out. It features a lot of behind the scenes content and that sort of stuff. People seem to like it, so thank you. And yeah, I think that's about it. So cheers for watching, and I shall see you next time. Cheers, guys.